That protein shake you just drank, there's a chance your body didn't use it for muscle at all. Yeah, I know that sounds illegal in the fitness world. You've been told protein is untouchable. Eat more protein, lose more fat. Eat more protein, build more muscle. Protein good, more protein better. But what if piling on protein is actually slowing your progress? Today, I want to walk you through where protein helps and where it quietly starts working against you. And if you're like most gym goers, you're probably already past that line. Somewhere along the way, protein became fitness religion. People started treating it like it had no upper limit. Chicken at every meal, multiple shakes per day, 200, 250, even 300 grams daily. And then they wonder why they're not getting leaner. Here's the uncomfortable truth no supplement label tells you. Your body has a ceiling for how much protein it can actually use for muscle. Everything beyond that doesn't magically disappear. It has to be dealt with. Let's talk about a word that gets thrown around a lot and almost always misunderstood: gluconeogenesis. It simply means the creation of new glucose. Your liver can make glucose from non-carbohydrate sources, including protein. Yes, protein can become sugar. But here's where the internet gets it wrong. Just because your body can do something doesn't mean it automatically does it. Gluconeogenesis is demand-driven, not supply-driven. Your liver doesn't panic and turn protein into sugar just because you ate more of it. Studies where people consumed large amounts of protein with zero carbs showed only a small amount of glucose production, roughly 10 grams spread over many hours. Your blood sugar is tightly regulated. Protein doesn't randomly spike it. So if protein turning into sugar isn't the real problem, what is? The answer is hormones, specifically insulin. Protein raises insulin. Not as much as carbs, but not zero either. Calorie for calorie, protein produces about half the insulin response of carbs. Some proteins are especially insulin-stimulating. Whey protein, for example, can spike insulin almost like refined carbohydrates. And when protein is eaten alongside carbs, the insulin response doesn't just add up, it multiplies. Some studies show increases of 2 to nearly 3 times compared to carbs alone. Insulin isn't evil, you need it. But insulin's main job is storage. When insulin stays elevated, fat burning stays suppressed. If you're constantly sipping protein shakes or eating high-protein snacks all day, you're never fully allowing your body to switch into fat-burning mode. Protein does have a balancing effect. It also raises glucagon, a hormone that helps release stored energy. When protein intake is reasonable and carbs are controlled, insulin and glucagon balance each other well. That's why protein works so effectively for fat loss. The problem starts when protein intake goes far beyond what your body can actually use. At that point, the hormonal advantage disappears. So how much protein is actually useful? The largest meta-analysis on the topic, covering 49 studies and over 1,800 participants, found that muscle gains plateau around 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. Beyond that, more protein did not mean more muscle. For an 80-kilogram person, that's roughly 130 grams per day. There is a safe upper margin around 1.75 grams per kilogram, or about 175 grams. But beyond that, you're not building extra muscle, you're just adding calories. What about huge doses of protein in one meal? Older research suggested muscle protein synthesis maxes out around 25 to 40 grams per meal. Newer studies show larger doses can extend the anabolic response over many hours. But here's the key detail. Only about 25 to 35% of that protein actually goes toward muscle building. The rest is broken down, processed by the liver and kidneys, and burned for energy. Protein is the least efficient fuel your body can use. Burning protein for energy is like fueling a car with champagne. It works, but it makes no sense. Now let's clear up the keto fear. You've probably heard that too much protein kicks you out of ketosis. This is wildly overstated. Studies show protein intakes up to 2.2 grams per kilogram do not prevent ketosis when carbohydrates are restricted. Ketosis is driven by low carbs, not low protein. If you're low carb and worried that an extra chicken breast ruined everything, relax, that's not the issue. What actually messes with progress is constant eating. Every time you eat, insulin rises and your body shifts into build and store mode. If you're eating every 2 to 3 hours because of old bodybuilding advice, your metabolism never gets a real break. The idea that muscle protein synthesis only lasts a few hours is outdated. Newer research shows the anabolic response can last much longer, especially with adequate protein doses. You don't need to drip-feed amino acids all day. So what's the real sweet spot? For general fitness, about 1.4 to 1.6 grams per kilogram. For muscle gain, 1.6 to 2.2. For fat loss, roughly 1.8 to 2.4. In very aggressive dieting, it can go higher, but still within reason. For most people, that lands between 140 and 200 grams per day, not 300, 400. One study drives this home clearly. People training hard in a 40% calorie deficit were split into two groups. One ate 2.4 grams per kilogram of protein, the other ate 1.2. The higher protein group lost significantly more fat and even gained lean mass, while the lower protein group simply maintained muscle. Higher protein helped, but higher meant controlled, not extreme. The real protein trap isn't sugar conversion, it's excess. You're spending money on protein your body doesn't need. You're keeping insulin elevated all day. You're forcing your body to burn expensive fuel, and you're not getting extra muscle in return. Your body doesn't reward more, it rewards optimal. Protein is powerful, but it has a threshold. Cross it, and the benefits flatten out. Figure out what you actually need. Track it honestly, and stop letting fitness culture convince you that extremes are the answer. Protein matters, but it isn't magic.